All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Dave, and welcome to Rockin' Stocks. All right. So today we're going to talk about XSPA, XSPA, and GNUS Brands International, GNUS. I don't know anything about GNUS Brands. I just looked at the chart and said, wow. That's just like XSPA. Okay, so I put them next to each other, and there's a lot of similarities here. Tomorrow's a pretty important day because the Abbott test comes out tomorrow in a lot of places. And if you don't know anything about the Abbott test, go ahead and Google it, YouTube it, whatever you do, because that's a 15-minute coronavirus test that's supposed to be safe. It's supposed to be effective. It's supposed to give good readings, not so many false negatives, false positives, stuff like that. You don't really like false anything when you're talking about testing equipment for the coronavirus. All right, so XSPA is a coronavirus play. They are putting testing centers in airports all over the country, presumably, and XSPA has Abbott testing machines that they'll be using. But I'm starting to see different reports locally here of the Abbott ID Now machines rolling out tomorrow, which tells me, hey, maybe it's going to happen at XSPA too. The chart definitely supports it, okay? These two companies are not related to each other, but they're being traded by hedge funds that have enough money to push them around, okay? So, first thing I notice here on this one right here, I'm going to start with GNUS Brands, just because GNUS Brands is running a little ahead of schedule versus XSPA. And what I mean by ahead of schedule is, if you notice here, we've got higher lows in the chart for over the past month, or half month, 2 weeks, whatever you want to call it, and we've got lower highs, okay? So essentially, they're pushing the price around, they're keeping it in that range, whether they're trying to buy more shares, whether they're trying to short it, whatever they're trying to do, that is what they are doing, okay? They're keeping the price tight, and they're tightening it day by day. Now, it's neither an ascending or a descending triangle. If you know charts, you know those are some patterns that people look for, okay? It's neither of those. It's a middle triangle, okay? It's not ascending or descending. It's just a triangle. It's a middle triangle. Well, GNUS responded very well to being at the end of its, we'll call it a squeeze, but that's not what it is. A squeeze is typically, when people buy a whole bunch of stock that somebody's trying to short, then you'd be squeezing the short, okay? But it's not a squeeze, but we're going to call it that anyway. All right. So at the end of the squeeze, the market responds very well for the bulls, and we actually see a rally of 20% growth at the end of the day, which is great. But I think XSPA is going to go higher than that. And the reason I say that is this accumulation down here. Go ahead and check out what the money flow index is, but I'll just kind of tell you what it's telling me. Money flow coming into the stock is moving up. However, it took a huge break, which means that, this isn't very important to anybody at this moment. Okay, that's GNUS. It's just not important to anybody. It's not important to bears. It's not important to bulls. It's on pause. Okay, but if you're watching this, you're still seeing an uptick. And if you're watching this, you're seeing the price start to actually come up and make higher highs, okay? And that would be the Commodity Channel Index. Commodity Channel Index watches the price over 20 periods or 20 candles. The Money Flow Index measures the inflow versus outflow, okay, over the last 20 periods. So is money flowing into the stock or out of the stock? They're not always the same. Okay, so we're seeing similar movement. We're not seeing any divergence between these two. We saw some temporary divergence here with a downward move in money flow. Money started to actually flow out of the stock again, as you can see here, moving down. Okay, money's flowing out of the stock. However, the price is still kind of maintaining that upward trend. Okay, so that is kind of bearish, but any momentum this had was pretty much nixed by the 20% gain, because as soon as it came, the sellers came and chopped it all up. And I bet next week it continues the same zigzag pattern, or it moves up or further down, okay, to rinse and repeat, as it were, until the company starts to make some moves, and then the hedge funds will kind of start the pump and dump process all over. Okay, so that's GNUS. The next one I want to show you is one with what I believe is the same exact chart. Okay, we're seeing higher lows, lower highs. Forgot an arrow over here. Okay, we're seeing another squeeze. Again, I'm just running the same over here on this chart as I am on the other chart. Okay, we're seeing another squeeze. That's not what it is. That's what I'm calling it. All right. So if you take a look here, money is flowing into this stock at an increasing rate. Up until the day before yesterday, the price was going down. Okay. So try to take that in for a second. More money is flowing into the stock, into the security. Okay, more people are buying that stock. Buying, maybe selling to themselves, but more people are buying that stock. Okay, so as more people are buying it, the price is coming down. That calls for a big correction at some point, whether it's to the upside or the downside, and whether it makes that big correction all at once, or whether it just gradually makes that correction and starts to move in the other way. That's up to the market manipulator. That's up to the security. That's up to the free market, essentially. That's up to news. That's up to market conditions, everything like that. So what I thought was pretty interesting is that we had some bullish divergence here. That means money is flowing into the stock, but yet the shorts are in control, the bears, and they're pushing that price down. Okay, so eventually they're going to have to cover all those short positions, and we should see a move to the upside. However, if bad news comes out, okay, then they're going to continue their short positions, and the stock will go down, and they'll make more money on the initial shorts and new short positions as they continue to push that price lower and lower and lower. And another thing I want to mention is, as money is flowing into the stock and new people are getting in, at a certain point, those people that got in will need to leave. Okay, they'll need to sell at a certain point. Okay, so never really forget that. Money's flowing in. Well, at a certain point, somebody's going to say, well, I think I'm going to take my money out. Okay, it will reverse. So that's why we like these trends that kind of move their way up, rather than GNUS over here, where it's moving up, and up, and then what's it do? Oh, big sell-off, stuff like that. That's not a clear move. That's not a momentum thing at all. That would just be a signal to me to stay out of that stock, because it doesn't know what it wants to do. All right. That's my time here today, rocking stocks. I'm going to play some rock for you here. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. We'll catch you next time. This is Rockin' Stocks.